Hi, this is Merry Christmas to our friends and family, December 2012. And Alice Jean and her itty bitty one, Lynn, Lily, wishing all a happy holidays. And we thought we would just talk a little bit about some of the exciting things that Alice Jean has done in her life. As the superstar of Coca-Cola, why don't you tell me about when you first became a dancer and a model, and just sort of a brief.
Well, my career began when I was 3 years old. My mother took me to dancing school, and after I did my silly dance or whatever it was, all the mothers came screaming over to me and hugging me and loving me because they thought I was so cute.
And you still are so cute.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
So you became sort of the local child celebrity star of Lake Forest, Illinois.
It was in Chicago at that time.
And then Lake Forest.
It was Lake Forest.
And then you went to Chicago?
Yes, well, I lived in Chicago, and my mother took me to the local park who had a dancing teacher, and they took me for private lessons at her home.
Like a scholarship,
They
right?
thought, like 3 years old. I was about 3 years old at the time. And they thought I was going to be a great star.
And that you did. And eventually you had this chance to go to New York. But tell us how it happened. It was kind of interesting how Altman, your choreographer, Altman, said you had an opportunity to go to New York.
Right. Midge Altman was her name, and she was a dance director. And she had a group of girls that were going to New York City to dance at the theater there, which was in...
Maybe Brooklyn?
It was in Brooklyn, and it was the Fox Theater in Brooklyn.
And was this the Six Graces?
That was a group of 12 girls. And we had 4 shows a day, and 5 on Saturday and Sunday. And in between shows, we practiced for the shows for the next week, because we had a new show every week, and we had to go 3 dances.
3 numbers every week, plus do the 3 that you were doing every day.
Every day.
Several shows a day.
Yes, 3 shows a day, 4 on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, so that's like 20 shows a week.
That's a lot of shows.
A lot of shows. And then I know you were in a Broadway show, Oh, Say Can You Sing?
Oh, there was a WPA show at the time that they were having shows by the government was sponsoring shows.
Because this was right after the Depression.
Right.
And the government was trying to do things to help artists and performers by providing opportunities and salaries.
Right. And so I was in Oh, Say Can You Sing? That was a show. And
what about the Bowery Follies?
The Bowery Follies was after that.
Okay.
And that was
a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
The Bowery, we don't go there anymore. He wears a tuxedo and gee how it fits. He looks like the head waiter up at the Ritz. And I wear a gown that has 28 slits. When Clancy dances with me, holy gee. So then you became one of the original Rockettes with the Roxy Theater.
Yes, in New York City. The Roxy Theater, that was before the music hall.
Right. Before Radio City Music Hall was the famous Roxy Theater and the Roxyettes. And Alice Jean was a Roxyette.
That's right.
And how old were you? 18?
I was about 18, yes.
Just a really mature 18.
No, that's right.
Living in New York with your girlfriends and
Yes.
dancing
Yes.
all week long.
All week long. 7 days a week at that time. It was
Right.
before Roosevelt came in and that everybody had to have a day off.
Right. And that's
Right.
true.
That's true.
We have it all to thank old Franklin Roosevelt that we now have a day off.
At least.
However, when I was dancing, it
It was
wasn't
2
Sunday. It was Monday we had off.
Yes.
And that wasn't very good because I went to class on Monday night. Well, then tell me, you also was a model for John Roberts Power's modeling agency.
For a while in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But then after a short time, I decided to go back home and live in Chicago, and I modeled there.
Well, so you did Breck, shampoo.
Yes, I did.
And airlines.
American Airlines.
Americans,
And there were several.
Yeah.
Right at this particular moment, I
Yeah, right.
I can't
Okay.
recall, but they were a lot.
And toothpaste,
And there was Dipana toothpaste, and there were just several.
And then the really big one.
Coca-Cola, yes. I modeled for
Coca-Cola.
Hayden Sundblom. He was a wonderful artist, and he used me on many of the trays and billboards. And
This was a billboard.
This was a
When
billboard.
I was a little girl, we
Yes.
went to Coney Island,
Yeah.
and this was on the back of all the buses. Now, this was done probably in 1939, and I wasn't born until 1940.
Yeah.
And then when we went to New York, I was 10 years old. So this was 1950, and this billboard was still huge in Coney Island and on the back of all the buses, on the sides of all the buses.
And it was in my neighborhood, there was an empty lot, and they put one there. I don't know how that happened.
A
but
big
there was
billboard.
A big billboard of me in a swimsuit.
Exactly. There she is. And many trays. I mean, there are many, many images of you as Coca-Cola. Sometimes with red hair, sometimes brunette.
Some with blonde.
Right. But you always were one of their most famous models. And then, how did you meet my father?
Well, he was at the Fox Theater in Brooklyn when I was there, and he was the pianist, and he also was in the orchestra at the theater. And one day came to the dressing room door and asked for me. And when I went to the door, he asked me, "How would you like to go out for a drink?" And I lifted myself up.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I do not drink. And closed the door. However, he asked me several times later, and I finally went, and we went to Joe's Restaurant right around the corner of the Fox Theater in Brooklyn.
Do you remember what you had to eat?
Yes, I had salmon.
Salmon.
I love salmon.
And to this day,
I love
just 2
salmon.
days ago, what did she order? Salmon.